morning, beloveds. We had another sign of spring this morning. The whistling ducks are back. It's a little weird. They have a very particular call, so now that I'm aware that they're back in, I'm kind of listening for them. But it's kind of odd to see these ducks fly over you and then land on power lines, and they're just like, they're ducks. What are they doing up in power lines? Or you'll walk under a tree branch and hear that sound and look up. There's a duck in a tree. It's odd, but I think that they found there were at least 6 of them, and I think it's the same ones from last year. So they must be nesting somewhere in the neighborhood, which is really cool. But yeah. So we've got just a week left in 365 Science of Mind. I think today may be the day that I started a year ago. I keep forgetting to go look. And I didn't expect to do this for a year. I expected to do this actually the first time I did it, I didn't expect to do it again, and then did it for a year, and have decided that we still have a ways to go. So I'm going to continue to do the 9 a.m. live stream on Facebook, and but I'm switching books. I'm going to move to 365 Days of Richer Living, also by Ernest Holmes, but this one is by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. Which, interestingly enough, when I was in practitioner school, or practitioner training, one of my classmates, who is gone, she opted not to go into Prac 2 training. She was having some health issues, and has since passed. I won't tell you how long ago that was. She was a student of Raymond Charles Barker. So we got to hear some in-person stories about Raymond Charles Barker. So that was really cool. And every now and again, something will remind me of Sophie, and then you miss her. And so Sophie was my classmate who was trained by Raymond Charles Barker. He told her she'd be a practitioner one day. And she was a very good practitioner, even though she never completed the formal training. So, it is March 25th. Our title is Treating for Others. People frequently ask how they can help others, and how their prayer or treatment reaches the other person. The method, the technique, and the approach are no different from that of helping oneself. For when you treat for yourself, you affirm the spiritual truth about yourself, recognizing the activity of spirit in your life and affairs. When you treat for another, you affirm that same truth about that person. The same procedure is followed concerning a group of people or a specific situation. After having made this identification of the person or the condition with the activity of God's love and wisdom, your affirmation should contain an idea of the required good or right action. And your denials, if any, should repudiate that which denies this activity. You need never wonder how your thoughts get to the other person, because it does not have to go anywhere. Every person is already established in the universal mind, whose creative law must manifest the ideas presented to it. So the whole action takes place in your own consciousness. Your treatment, working through the law of mind, produces results according to your faith and conviction. Today, I affirm that every person I meet will be helped. Every situation I contact will be harmonized. Every activity I am engaged in will be made prosperous and complete. In addition to my specific treatment, the silent affirmation of my whole thought automatically reflects itself wherever I am, whatever I may be doing. Consequently, I know that a blessing rests upon everyone I meet in my experience and goes out to the whole world to benefit all of humanity. And the Bible quote is, "Whither can I go from your spirit? Whither can I flee from your presence?" And that is Psalm 139:7. So it's ironic that I mentioned Sophie then and talked about practitioner training. One of the things that practitioners like to admit about being a practitioner is it is incredibly selfish. Because when people come to us and ask us to treat for whatever it is that they are treating, that they are asking for prayer for, the person that the practitioner is treating is the practitioner. Because when I treat for you, I am knowing within my own consciousness the truth about you. There's some spillover. I get to know the truth also about me. And that's one of the reasons why practitioners tend to attract it's like whatever I need to work on, that's the kind of person who's going to walk into my life. But that's the best thing about being a practitioner is the joy of treating for another person. The joy of knowing the spiritual truth about that person. The joy of seeing that person as whole and healthy and happy and complete. Seeing them in all of the qualities of God that they carry. That they may not have realized yet. May not have brought fully to the surface yet. And it's an amazing gift to be able to do. To look another person in the eyes and see a child of God looking back at them. And that's the whole point of practitioner training. It's like first you go into the training to be able to look in your own eyes and see God looking back at you. And then you spend the time looking into each other's eyes and seeing God looking back at you. Because that's what you're looking for. You are looking to see the divine truth. You are looking to see the divine spark. You are looking to see the divine splinter. You are looking to know the bliss body that Dr. Goswami talks about for whatever it is that they have asked for treatment for. Be it physical and mental, emotional, material even. And we just know the truth. Now, the interesting thing about being a practitioner is we may not ever hear the results of our treatment. We have to have faith that they work. We may never hear the answer. We may never hear, "Oh, you got what you got what you had." We may never hear that. And we're okay with that. We are okay with that. We do love to know, but we're okay with not knowing. Because we do the treatment, it is still up to the other person to accept it. So it's a mutual relationship in that era of back and forth. It's like, I know the truth about you. And I hold the truth about you. And I hold the truth about you until you can hold it for yourself. And that, in a nutshell, is the job of a practitioner. And it is a beautiful gift that we can give. So, treating for others. And the other thing is, there's that dicey thing. If you don't know what to treat for, you always treat for the highest and the best. Exactly that. It's like, there is the situation in Atlanta, the situation in Colorado. I don't know specifically what to treat for. I do know that I want to treat for peace. I want to treat for comfort. I want to treat for healing. But I also know that I want to treat for the highest and the best. I want to know all of humanity recognizes their own God qualities, their peace, their joy, their love, their harmony, that every human being understands that they belong. And there's nothing higher or better than that, in my opinion. In my opinion. Although I think Ernest would agree with me there. So, people frequently ask how they can help others and how their prayer or treatment reaches the other person. The good news is we don't have to worry about that, because one of the core cornerstones of Science of Mind is we're all one. So the truth that I know about you, I'm just holding space until you can know it for yourself. I don't even have to have a name, because we're all one. Spirit knows who you are. God knows who you are. The method, the technique, and the approach are no different than that of helping oneself. When you treat for yourself, you affirm the spiritual truth about yourself, recognizing the activity of spirit in your life and affairs. When you treat for another, you affirm the same truth about that person. And that's what it is. You affirm the same truth. You are revealing truth. You are revealing truth. You're not bringing something new in. What you are doing is clearing away the cobwebs. You are uncovering. You are revealing the truth about the person, because they've always been that child of God. They've always been the qualities that they are asking for. They've always had them. It's about owning them. And that's what we get to do. We get to hold the space for them to own it. It's about recognizing what they are. That's why we use the word spiritual truth, and it's the capital T. The same procedure is followed concerning your group of people or a specific situation. Because trust me, we treat for specific situations all the time. Having made this identification of the spirit or condition with the activity of God's love and wisdom, your affirmation should contain an idea of the required good or right action. So when we talk about treatment, we have the 5 steps, the 5 basic steps. I have mentioned that there are 7, but the 5 basic steps. There is one God. I am a part of that God. That 3rd step is the required good or right action, activity, right action, which the name of it just popped right out of my head. I wanted to call it the revelation. So there is one God. I am a part of that God. Now I am going to state the truth about me. Whatever that truth is that I'm working on today, that I'm happy, healthy, whole, that you are happy, healthy, whole, that's that step. What is the action? What am I praying for? And I speak it in plain words. Now, if you go and listen to a variety of practitioners, which I encourage you to do, what you'll notice is that we all do it a little different, but we all do it the same. Some practitioners use lots of words and build beautiful pictures. And it is wonderful. And then some practitioners are bare bones, to the point, this is the way it is. I'm a little bit more of that. I'm more of an economy of words. It's who I am. Although you wouldn't know that from watching these things, because I can talk but when I'm going to do a treatment, it's like, I'm going to know that there is one God. There is one life, one power, one presence, one love. And I am a part of that love. And that love flows through me, in me, as me. And in that love, all things are possible. So right there is where I add in whatever it is that I want or that I am knowing for someone else. It's like, there. And then I talk about gratitude. I wrap my treatment in the feeling of gratitude, because there's nothing more powerful than gratitude, because gratitude is just another word for love. And then I let it go. So, but all practitioners are different, and it's beautiful to listen to them, each in their own style. And there's no right way, just like there's no wrong way. It's how you get to God. It's how you get to spirit that's important. It's important that you, as you are doing this, feel it. There are no right words. There are no wrong words. There are no right feelings. There are no wrong feelings. It's the combination of. In your denials, I did mention that there can be 7 steps. The 2 additional steps can be a denial. So I have stated what I want. And then something crops up and I go, yeah, but not this. And then I reaffirm basically the opposite of whatever I have just said. Okay, so it's like I'm healthy, happy, and whole. And, I can't do a good denial right now. I'm sorry. I'm just not in a denial mood. So I'm denying my denial and going on and saying that I'm healthy, happy, and whole. And your denials, if any, should repudiate that which denies this activity. So anything which denies my healthy and happy whole, that is what I'm denying. Because it's just an appearance. And I'm recognizing that it is just an appearance. And that's how I do that reaffirmation after that denial. It's like there's nothing. It's nothing. It's no thing. And it goes back into the nothing that it came from. You never need wonder how your thought gets to that other person, because it does not have to go anywhere. We are all one. Every person is already established in the universal mind, whose creative law must manifest the ideas presented to it. That's a capital I, by the way. So the whole action takes place in your own consciousness. Ernest would frequently treat, when people would come to him for treatments, he wouldn't even necessarily do the treatments out loud. They would be sitting in front of him and he would do the treatment in his own head. He wouldn't even speak it out loud. We don't have to speak them out loud because the person we are treating is ourselves. But we frequently do treat them out loud because it makes the person that we're working with more comfortable. I don't know that Emma would do them out loud either. And she definitely would not do her... Well, sometimes she would do her denials out loud. But when you were telling Emma Curtis Hopkins, just so that I'm specific, when you were telling her what I would call your story, when you were telling her your story, she's sitting there in her chair looking at you going, you are not that, you are not that, you are not that. She is denying the truth of the story that you are telling her. And affirming right behind that denial who you are, that you are a beloved child of God. Your treatment, working through the law of mind, produces results according to your faith and conviction. Yes, according to your faith and conviction. But do bear in mind, they also have to be accepted for the other person. So if you're treating for yourself and it's not working, then you have some work to do on your faith and conviction. But if you are treating for another person, yes, please go back and look at your faith and conviction. But understand that there are 2 parts in that relationship. You are holding space for another person, and they have to accept the truth as well. So it's not all on you. It's not all on you. And that's something that they try and pound into us in practitioner training. Yes, you have a very important job to do. It is very important. And you want to do it with all of the faith and the love and the conviction that you have. But if it doesn't look like it's working, then you can pass the person on to someone else and say, it does not appear that I am serving you the way that you need to be served. Let me move you on to another practitioner. But you're not the one at fault. The other person isn't either. They just may not be ready. But it's a reciprocal relationship. So please, do not ever beat yourself up if it doesn't look like it's working. And that's frequently why I'm a minister and I'm married to a practitioner, and occasionally I just can't do it. And I will turn to my practitioner. Actually, most of the time he will turn to me and he will say, okay, and he will treat for me. Because there are times that I can't hold the space for myself. And I admit that. And I go to somebody else. And that is one of the strongest things that you can do. Sometimes, the space is too hard to hold. You let somebody else hold it for a little while. And when you're ready, you take the space up yourself again. All right. Today, I affirm that every person I meet will be helped. Every situation I contact will be harmonized. Every activity I am engaged in will be made prosperous and complete. In addition to my specific treatment, the silent affirmation of my whole thought automatically reflects itself wherever I am, whatever I may be doing. Which is why one of my spiritual practices is to look in every being's eyes and see God looking back at me. I want to hold that space. I know you're a godling, and I am holding the space for you to know that you are a godling. That is my affirmation all of the time. All of the time. Consequently, I know that a blessing rests upon everyone I meet in my experience and goes out to the whole world to benefit all of humanity. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. And that's the way it works. What I want for myself, I want for everybody. Whither can I go from your spirit? Whither can I flee your presence? There's nowhere. There's nowhere God is not. There was a meme that came across. It was Leslie Goodwin? Wisdom Every Day. You will never look in the eyes of a person that God does not love. There's nowhere God is not. And sometimes that's the treatment. To uncover that presence in a situation where we're going, how can God be here? Well, God is there. But sometimes it's our work to do to bring that spirit forward. Most of the time, probably, it's our job to do, to bring that spirit forward. When we walk into situations that are less than preferred, it is our job to do to bring that spirit forward. All right. I'm going to move into the process of my day. I believe it's Thursday because I went for a run. So, and I think we're through with the storms, so we may get a little sunshine today. I forgot. Are we going to have a mission today? I don't know. This one doesn't really lend itself to it. Outside of he does give it his last statement is, our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to affirm that every person we meet will be helped in every situation and that every situation will be harmonized. Our mission today, should we choose to accept it, is to look into everybody's eyes, every being. And I'm not talking just the two-leggeds. Every being's eyes, and see God looking back at us. That's the mission. But that's the whole mission total in life. It really is. To see God looking back at us. Especially when we look in the mirror and look at our own eyes. To see God looking back at us. To know that all of those qualities of peace, joy, love, harmony live right there inside of us. We always have access to them. It's the question of taking a moment to ground, to center, to go to that place where we meet the unfiltered spirit and bring those qualities to the forefront. So, do something loving for yourself, do something kind for yourself, do something compassionate for yourself, whatever that looks like today. Self-care. Because that is how we take care of the world, by taking care of ourselves. And then we walk more gently through the world. So today, if you would like to meet with practitioners, Marissa and John have a call, I believe it's 7. So if you're interested in that, email info@creativelife.org to get that information. That's on a Thursday. And Reverend David will be on Facebook Live with you around 5 p.m. I'll be back on Facebook Live around 9 a.m. tomorrow. And as usual, well, I don't even know what I was about to say. These are all archived on YouTube on the Running Rev Ryan channel, if there's any of them in particular that you want to go back and see. So, open the windows of your soul. Allow the breath of heaven to remind you that you live in heaven now. You are a beloved child of God in whom God is well pleased always and forever. This is our state of grace. All right? Know that you are loved. And have a wonderful day, beloveds.